Welcome everyone to our virtual co-working write-in edit-in events. I'm Coral Sands, author and your host for today's writing event.
And I'm Ansley Ashe, author and co-host for today's writing event.
To keep myself accountable, I love write-in events. I want to warn you though, when I host, I post prompts followed by short bursts of break time so it can really be productive. Because this is a 1-hour marathon of working on your story.
This is live on YouTube, but feel free to watch the VOD afterwards so you can pause if you need more time. While you're at it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and all the fun algorithm stuffs.
All right, let's talk about upcoming writing events that are going to be on the Writing Quest YouTube channel. Very important. We're going to be doing Preptober for Novel Quest. That means we're going live on October 5th. and October 19th at 11 a.m. And then for Novel Quest itself, we will be streaming live Sundays, 11 a.m. Central, and Wednesdays, 6 p.m. Central. So we are still looking for writers who are interested in being interviewed during Novel Quest. You can email sandswriter@gmail.com for more information and to toss your hat into the ring.
We post all of our upcoming events on our Facebook group called Writing Quest. We'll leave a link in the description. Today, we are so excited to announce our winners of our Drabble contest that we held in August. A Drabble is a 100-word story, and we received some really awesome entries. We had 3 winners this past month. They were winner, Pufferfish Writing the Mayor, LJ Brown, Into the Void, and AR Meridian, Trapped at the Cafe. I read, it was so hard to choose between all of our great entries. These were the 3 that me and the rest of the team came up with. Congratulations to everybody who won, and a huge thank you. Such a privilege to read everything for everyone who just put it in. Thank you.
Yes, such a huge thanks to everyone that participated. We do plan to have more contests like this in the future, and you can read all of the Drabbles and stay in touch with us by signing up for our Substack. The link is in the description.
Let's talk about October. Some call it Preptober, where we spend the month preparing to write our Novel Quest writing adventure that starts in November. In November, we will be setting goals to write or edit a book in 30 days. The individual sets their own goals, that's you. We cheer each other on and keep each other motivated through the ups and downs of November.
So the question is, how do you prepare for a challenge like this? There are tons of different styles, but Ansley has a fun approach of how she picks her idea for her story.
Okay, so every year I put all of my ideas into my idea jar, which is a vase. I had one as we were coming on the air. So I'm just going to read this real fast. It says, a boy runs across his soccer coach's body as he is walking to soccer practice. And now we take that up and it goes into the jar. And every year in September, so already passed because I take 2 months to plan my novel, we pull all of the ones for the year out. I read them out and I see what calls to me. And then we put that in a box and we start saving our scenes. And once I have enough here in a couple of weeks, we will, plot those out. We will spread those out on the table and then we'll have a little bit of an outline and I'm ready to go. So that's how I plan.
I love that approach. It is such a great way to brainstorm ideas, and I think that is where we're going to start. If you haven't already, we're going to spend 5 minutes and we're going to brainstorm some ideas. So let's start with a quick 5-minute sprint to get our creative juices flowing. All right, 5 minutes on the clock, and just brainstorm different ideas. These would be ideas that you're going to put into your little idea jar. All right, let's go. All right, we are in a break. How did everybody do? We get some really great ideas. Feel free to post your ideas in chat.
Yeah, that nugget of an idea is maybe the most important thing. I got so many done. I got 1, 2, 3. I got 4. How many did you get?
7 different ideas, and they're all kind of like, I think I could make them relate.
Well, I mean, sometimes that happens, right? Like, because sometimes the brain is just in a thing and they're not really separate stories, but you're like, oh, and this is one of the things that I like about the note card, right? Like, you can put it on the note card, but when you put the note cards, like, if you have them all up together and you're like, oh, do they go together? You can like line those note cards up randomly and go like, oh, can I combine them? I do play that game sometimes as well. That's the beauty of the note card. It's like, it's there and you can like, endless shuffling is what I call it, shuffling the deck. I love that.
Absolutely. I love it.
That's
I
great.
love it when things start connected and you're like,
like boom, boom, boom. Yeah.
That. All right. So I do want to take some time to talk a little bit about what we're doing next. So our next step, once we have an idea, we need to expand to do this. I love to start with a log line. Now, a log line is 1 to 2 sentences containing their goal, the conflict, if needed, world. So, some examples. All right. When a killer shark unleashes chaos in the community, it's up to a local sheriff, a marine biologist, and an old seafarer to hunt the beast down. All right, what would you say Star Wars was? It's a farm boy joins a rebellion to save a princess and defeat an evil empire. And then Finding Nemo, when his son is swept out to sea, an anxious clownfish embarks on a perilous journey across the treacherous ocean to bring him back. So now we're going to allow you to spend some time and write a log line yourself using one of the ideas that you had from earlier. This is a really tough thing to do, so we're going to give you 10 minutes in order to do it, and we have a few minutes now to start thinking about what log lines you want to do.
Well, and I think it's really important to say, like, well, there are no right or wrong answers to what your log line should or should not be. Maybe the most important thing you can do is remember that this is basically going to tell, like, I find the nugget is frequently the inciting incident, you know, like what happens, like how does the whole story get going, right? Now you want, like, what is that overarching conflict, and a little bit like maybe how it's going to end. Like, you can definitely see if you don't have to have a specific ending, but like in Finding Nemo, right? Like the son gets swept out to sea, the clownfish goes after his son, right? Implied in that is he's either going to find his son, he's going to find out what happens to his son, right? Like, that's deeply implied in the log line, but we haven't decided what that is going to be yet, right? You don't have to decide exactly what the end is, but you should say, like, okay, this is the quest that they're going on and where we're going to get there. I think that's, like, really, really important.
Yes, absolutely. And there's so many different ways to, when we're looking at writing a log line, there's so many different formats. You don't necessarily have to do it exactly like protagonist, goal, conflict, and world building. You can like move things around and stuff like that. So what happens when da-da-da-da-da? And so you can, there's a few different ways to be able to do this. Just try to get the main, and if you write a log line that's longer than 2, you can work on editing it down later too. So
I thought Star Wars is perfect because that is like, who is he? What is he doing? Mm-hmm. Why does he do it? Right? And like, there are endless possibilities from there. So like, Star Wars is amazing. So you have a lot of different directions to go. I don't know which. Now I have to think the hardest part of this is going to be which one of my nuggets am I going to expand to a lot?
Exactly. Like, what am I going to write? All right, let's do this. Let's dive into writing our log line. All right, that ding means it is time for a quick break. We got a 5-minute break for us where we can talk about our wonderful log lines. How did everybody do? It's such a hard thing to do. Come on.
Hard thing to do. And here's the thing. I think the hardest part for me is like condensing it down, right? Like I took a stab at it. I was happy enough that I'm taking that and we're putting it in our jar off screen here. But it's in there. So like, I'm happy with this one. But so far, so like, then I was like, okay, I have a log line. Okay, fine, whatever. It's 2 sentences, fine. But it's like, those seem like 2 really long sentences. So it's like, well, let's see if we can do it shorter. Same number of words in the 1 sentence as in the 2 sentences. Like, really? Honestly? Yeah. What are you doing, Ansley?
Yeah, no, mine seems like one really long run-on sentence, but we got all the information in there, so.
Right now, I'm like, what information can I take out, right? Like, how can I condense this down? Because even if, from my point of view, my friends that tried publish, right, that log line can be really, really important to send in to an agent or to an editor. Right, it gives them that, and we want that to be as snappy as possible when you're trying to sell it. It's your elevator page.
Yes, absolutely. Do you feel? Would you feel comfortable reading one of your log lines?
Yeah, sure. So I chose just to work on an art thief's work is uncovered when he hires a contractor to remodel his bathroom. Which like is a great log line, except for my art thief isn't going to be my protagonist. My carpenter is going to be my protagonist. So now we're going to so now I'm going to flip, right? This is the predicament, which is like, by the way, that's a great log line in and of itself. I feel like if it was written for that, but now I'm going to switch to I was just switching to my MCS. So I always come up with a working title, which is Swirls of Chaos, which is maybe going to tell me that we're looking at expressionist paintings, maybe. So my first stab was a failed fine art painter turned carpenter takes on a swank job promising much needed financial security. His trained eye spots paintings on the wall which the owner passes off as copies but he believes are real. And then we're condensing that down, which is what I was doing when the bell rang. A carpenter's knowledge of the fine art world is tested when the client says the paintings are copies of famously stolen works, but the carpenter believes they are real.
Oh, it sounds so interesting. That's so great. I love it.
Because I think it's just more interesting that like the guy you don't think is going to know anything about art is the one that, it's like, because what could go wrong? Right?
Absolutely. I went with the one that sticks out to me is Amelia Jones didn't start the fire at the school, but now she's in a life or death chase with the shifter community as she fights to clear her name while coming to terms with being a shifter.
That's an intriguing little story right there. I would read. I'm not really into the, I don't read this kind of paranormal, but sure, but I would read that one for sure.
Yeah, I think that there's different things, and I think we both have some really great log lines. So if everybody takes a look at all their log lines and then just pick one that speaks to you the most. The next thing that I do is I dive into what the overall message of the story. What do you want the readers to take away from the story? What are some universal themes? So for instance, you have love, like loving oneself, loving others, and romantic love. You have survival, both as an individual and as a society. Responsibility, accepting destiny or standing up for a cause. Forgiveness of oneself or others. And so ask yourself, what are you trying to say about theme? What is the takeaway?
Why we changed MCs, right? Things are not. Obviously, with this one, things are not what they seem is my theme.
Absolutely. I love that. I don't know. I have to think about what my overall arching theme is, because there's a couple of different ones that could come into play with a young girl that moves into a new town. So,
and sometimes it's harder to find the theme than it is, to find the story, I think.
Yes. All right. So let's take 10 minutes and dive into some theme ideas. You don't necessarily have to finalize which one, but just go into some ideas of some fun things that you would want to work on. All right. All right, that ding means it's time for a break. How did everybody do? What theme ideas did you have? Please, please, please put it in the comments. We want to read all your theme ideas.
Comments sometimes get really, really juicy. So we do go back, we do read every single one of them. So, put them in. Even if you're not live, put them in. If you come back and you watch us later, put them in. We will still go back and read them. So, okay.
Absolutely.
I have crossed one off, which is maybe a little bit bad, because that's one of the things about not letting your ideas when you're in the beginning creative stage, not pulling back, going oh, that's not too far. But I did cross out one idea, and I will explain. But so I ended up with, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I crossed one out. So things are not what they seem, which is the role of honesty in everyday relationships, maybe. You can't judge a book by its cover. People are more than just the small sliver you see of them. And then what I think, if I were to write this up as a whole entire novel, can you do the right thing when presented with temptation? How much does the right thing cost? The role of the individual responsibility in a society that hasn't worked for the protagonist. And I feel like a lot of people maybe feel like they're in that situation where the society that they live in, the rules are for other people. They followed the rules, but it didn't work out for them. Therefore, should they follow the rules when the rule breakers seem to be the one to be rewarded? So that temptation in there, I think that would maybe be there. The one that I crossed out, unknown danger. There's no reason for an ordinary man to be pulled into a world of crime. But honestly, isn't that every movie ever?
Yes.
I mean, do I have a fresh? I crossed that out because I'm not certain I have a fresh take on it, and I'm not certain I need to state that as a theme, because once I do the setup, it's kind of already there, so I don't have to camera into that one again. And then, can you trust your own judgment wrestling with self-doubt? Because if you think about that carpenter who comes in, first thing he's going to be is well, those are real. No, they're not. Yes, they are. No, there's going to be these moments of I think doubt. So
yeah, I love those. Those are really, really great. Mine definitely dove into community, one's role in a new community, and coming to terms with being in a new community, which goes side to side with society and one's role in society. And but I felt like those were too broad. And then I landed on change. Amelia is a shifter, but doesn't know it. Her entire life is being turned upside down as she tries to adjust to being a shifter and what that means in a society that doesn't know about supernatural creatures. This is also a great metaphor for a transition from adolescence to adulthood. As she turns 18, a big event, her shifting occurs, and it's literally changing, which she struggles with throughout the story. So another theme that I am kind of diving into is a little bit of racism in the story. I could dive into different types of shifters and whether they group together or segregate. And it would be a great metaphor for racism and explore themes of hopefully acceptance. So yeah, we dove into all of those things, and yeah, I'm really in love with change. I think that one might be my theme, I think.
I think so many of us struggle with change as well, so I think fiction is a great place to talk about like the role of change in everyday lives. And
absolutely. All right, so now we are going to come up with a really fun aspect of planning, and that is exploring your main character. I want you to ask who are they? What do they want? What is motivating them? What's at stake? What misbelief is holding them back from getting what they want? And how will they grow from the beginning of the book to the end? You might not be able to answer all of these questions now, but I really want you to think about all of these things as you are exploring your main character. So jot down some character ideas, and there's no wrong answer here. So just jot down as many character ideas as you can, and try to answer some of those questions about them to dive deeper into who they are as a character. All right, everyone take a deep breath, and we'll spend 10 minutes jotting down character ideas. Let's go. right, venting means it's time for a break. How did everybody do?
I think my dogs will be much happier. I think somebody came and rescued them while we were in the. They've been like, please save me. Mom is live streaming. To be quiet.
Yeah.
I did fantastic. I think I have more questions than I do answers at this point about my character, but there are some things to talk about. Like, broadly speaking, this is a frustrated character, right? And I do think that many of us enter our 20s and we wanted something out of life, and then we find out for one reason or another we can't get it, right? Like, maybe you wanted to be a doctor, but your grades in college aren't good enough to get you into med school, right? And so, like, you kind of have to, like, let that dream die. Or sometimes, like in my case, I wanted to be an attorney and I ran out of money, and so, like, I couldn't go to law school, right? And so I think the 20s are kind of like this really hard time because, like, we're raised to believe so optimistically. And so I kind of want to talk about a character who's in that moment in their life where they're pivoting from this thing they really wanted to be to something else, like, you know, an insurance agent, although that's not as fun here. Yeah, so I had that. But then I was like, okay, well, then what would motivate this person? Like, it's so expensive to buy a house. Maybe their mortgage is on the line. So, like, they need this job. So it's like, do you say something? Do you not say something? Right? And what does this character want? Maybe they just want to give their family, like, this really good life and to, like, be able to provide opportunities for their kids. Well, why would that be true? Maybe oldest child is going to kindergarten, you know? But then I'm like, are they a gay couple? Are they a straight couple? Like, I don't know. Like, I still need to answer those questions, so I don't know. And if they feel so alone in the world, why do they feel alone? And how do the answers to that question change the story that I'm telling? So I have some things to think about.
I love that. I also have lots of things to think about. The three big areas that I did spend a lot of time on is motivation, disbelief, and growth. The motivation, her family just moved again, so she's planning to run away. So she doesn't want to connect with new friends in this new community because she doesn't expect to be there very long. And then additionally, when she is accused of starting a fire, she's motivated to clear her name. So we have some different motivations going on that's going to really set up this story. The misbelief, she was told that they were done with moving. Then her family surprised her with another move. So she feels she was lied to and the rug was pulled out from under her feet. So the plans she was making is being threatened by moving to a new place. And therefore she believes in order to put down roots, she must strike out on her own in order to take control of her life. And I think that's going to be really core to every choice she makes throughout the book, which is going to be really, really great. And then she goes through a lot of different pieces of growth, and I'm still working on the growth aspect of it.
She can't do what I did when I moved and just go onto Twitter to bring all her friends with her. Like,
yes.
Granted, that was 15 years ago, and you can't. Not that I feel like it's not the same on Twitter anymore. Yes, I totally understand where this character is coming from. You know, like, oh, I did really want to move.
Yeah, I moved a lot as a kid. So being that my family was in the military, and we moved around every 2 to 4 years, so I really do relate a lot to this character. And sometimes you just feel like the only way that you're going to be able to make it is to try to do it on your own. And that's hard when you're so used to having family be there as like your core. So
I moved, but I didn't move until I was an adult. I think the first 15 years my husband and I were married, we moved to 5 different places. So.
Oh, yeah. All right. So the last thing that we have time to do is to figure out what POV intents we're going to write for this story. Now, don't worry. In October, we are going to dive more into character settings, world building, and all of that. But let's end this stream deciding the lens used to tell the story. So once you know who is telling your story, you have to figure out how to tell the story. So first person, I am the one telling the story. In second person, the story is told to you. And then third person, the story is about he, she, and them. Once you figure that out, you can consider tense, past tense being the most common in modern fiction. So just talk about what POV and tense you're going to use and why. We have 5 minutes, and just don't spend too much time on this. All right. Good luck. Woo! Time is up. Fantastic work, everyone. We during our next event, we are actually streaming Sunday, October 5th at 11 a.m. an event on Writing Quest YouTube right here. We will start building on what we did today. So if you like these prompts, you can actually visit savannahgilbo.com for ultimate guide to planning. I used some of that to research the prompts for today, and I really like her website.
And remember, even if you didn't make your goals, you were attempting to put effort to write a little bit every day, and that is amazing.
And if you want to keep in touch, you can join our Facebook group, Writing Quests on Facebook.
Before we go, we must thank our amazing producer, David McInnes. We couldn't do any of this without him. Thank you so much.
And the description includes links to all of our social media. So if you like this content, please like, comment, and subscribe.
See you next time.
See you next time.